Hi everyone, welcome to the KubeVirt community meeting for the 26th of March 2025. I'm going to add the meeting notes to the chat. So for any attendees, can you please mark your attendance in the meeting notes? And do we have any new people today that would like to introduce themselves to the community?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce myself. Maybe not all people in the call know me. I'm Dominic I'm a manager in Red Hat OpenShift virtualization. And I like to speak today about a renovate board for KubeVirt release branches to get security updates.
Still on the agenda, right? We'll get to that. Is there anybody else that would like to introduce themselves before we?
I'm not attending this meeting very often, so I can repeat that. Hello, my name is Andrei Kvapil. I'm CEO of Enix, and we develop a source platform for running Kubernetes in Kubernetes native way, cozy stack. Thank you.
Well, nice to see you back in the meeting. You know what? So, okay, just going to go on to the schedule check-in just to have a look at the release schedule check-in. So the link there in the notes is for 1.5, but I have the window here for 1.6. We get the link updated. So yeah, we've started the provider for KubeVirt CI. So there's an email went out in the mailing list this week to say that the 1.33 provider is available. It's in beta, so you should be able to get some early testing on that if you want to. And then the next stage we're waiting for now is Kubernetes release of 1.33 on the 23rd of April. And yeah, so now for the CFP check-in, I believe we have a CFP. This one's closed, so the presentation is due for India. That's closed on March 23rd. Next one, we have Containers Day for March 31st in Hamburg, Germany, September 9th to the 11th. And we have Open Source Summit Europe. I believe Andrew is eager to get someone to try and make a presentation of this one. So the due date for that CFP is April 14th. And then you have your list of Open KCD days, DevOps days, and Linux Foundation events here as well. I do believe we have a couple of people attending KubeCon EU next week. So if anybody's around, make sure to check out the KubeVirt booth. There will be a booth. And there should be a few KubeVirt people hanging around the conference as well. So make sure to try and catch up if you're attending. And onto the agenda. So we have a fairly light agenda. So if anybody has anything for the agenda or open floor, please add us. You get the chance. But we can start with Dominic. Dominic on Renovate Bot.
Yeah, thank you. I prepared some slides. Brian, can you stop sharing screen? I'm not allowed to share my screen to show some slides until you share a screen.
Stop sharing.
Thanks a lot. Works. Okay, let me introduce the problem I think we should try to solve. So Golang project needs regularly updating the dependencies to externally statically linked libraries because these libraries might get some security fixes. And this is a boring regular task which is required on all maintained branches. And yeah, we all know what happens if a human gets this responsibility. It's boring, so nobody's doing it. So how to solve this issue? My proposal is to automatically create the PRs with an automation. I would propose using the Renovate tool here, but other tools might work similar. And I had a look how this might work in the KubeVirt repo. And I've found up to now 4 challenges we have to solve. Most challenging is that if we have PRs on all the branches, someone has to review them and approve them. Next challenge is that we are using Bazel to build. So the Renovate tool is not used to work with Bazel repos. Then I spotted symlinks in the vendor directory, which seems to violate the usual Golang expectations. And what's also challenging that we maintain branches in KubeVirt longer than the related upstream Golang version is maintained. And with this, the whole Golang ecosystem. So I have some ideas how we could challenge or how we could address those challenges. For the long maintained branches, I would vote for a toothbrush instead of dentist approach. So let's have, for example, a look at this CVE, which happens in xCrypto. So the CVE was fixed in December last year. And the fixed version of xCrypto didn't require a new Golang version. But on February 22nd, a new xCrypto version was released, fixing another CVE, but also bumping the Golang version. So this means if we are using an automation, or if we would have picked up the CVE fix before February 22nd, we would get the fixed external dependency without bumping the Golang version. If we run automation now, it's painful because the automation doesn't know that we want to have just the old CVE and not the new CVE. So automation would bump the Golang version. So we have to address this manually. So this is why I think it's better to have an automation and pick up the security updates, which we can get in easily, regularly. Are there any questions about this one? You're welcome to interrupt me. The symlinks in the vendor directory are also somehow unexpected by me and the Renovate tool. Felix wrote an email about the glog dependency. I had a closer look at the glog dependency. I'm not a Golang developer, but it looks like we are doing something very dangerous there because the Go mod file contains a version number which might not reflect what's in the staging directory. And I do not understand why we need this glog library in the staging directory at all. So this is something we might want to clean up. But Felix posted a mail to KubeVirt Devil about that. So please respond to this mail. If we run an automation, we can easily exclude the staging directory, and then it would produce some invalid PRs, things like that. So Go mod would be modified, and the vendor modules file would be modified. But as you see in the PR, the glog update itself would be excluded, but this is somehow intended because it looks like KubeVirt is going to manage the glog dependency and the other dependencies in the staging directory manually. So this means if the automation is creating such a PR, we would see, here's a CVSS with inside the version we are using currently with score 7.1. So we might want to have a look at it. And we can close the PR because the automation cannot solve this for us. But on closing the PR, this should ring a bell to the maintainer. Hey, there's something I have to do manually. Are there any? Oops. Sorry. Are there any questions about this one? No. We'll go continue with the next one. Next one is that we are using Bazel to build. This means after updating the dependencies of Golang, we have to run Bazel again. Though this means we cannot use the Renovate instance from Mend where a nice how's it called, GitHub application is available, but we can run the Renovate tool on ourselves with the required configuration. So Daniel Hiller is going to help here. So this is something we can tackle technically. And last thing which is open is that if we have an automation which is creating regularly PRs, this wouldn't solve any problem if there are no reviewers and approvers picking up these PRs and trying to help get them merged. And even if the maintainer just closed the PR, then they basically acknowledge that they understood that there's a security issue in KubeVirt, which is either known now or we can address it manually. So why I'm here in this meeting is to motivate the community to have a look at these PRs and help to review and improve them. Yeah, if you are especially interested in reviewing and improving these PRs, you are very welcome to contact me, and I will come back to you.
Thanks, Dominic. I have one question.
Sorry, Brian, I can't hear you anymore.
Sorry, is my audio okay now?
Yes.
A bit unclear earlier on. Yeah. I was just wondering, Dominic, how many releases back do we have to support or do this for? Because I believe KubeVirt supports the last 3 releases, but are we expecting to go much further back than that?
I know what Red Hat supports. That's some more releases. Don't know if there's official upstream support existing at all.
I think we try to support the last 3 releases, the last 3 major releases. But yeah, again, if it has to go further back, it has to go further back.
I tried the automation even on the main branch, and it found several CVEs in the main branch.
Yeah.
And the automation produced valid PRs back down to KubeVirt 1.0. I also run the automation again 0.58, but on 0.58, not a single PR was valid. But up to 1.0, the automation works.
Okay, great.
And I posted already some PRs which are created semi-automatically. So I let the automation create the PRs in my fork, and then I transferred the PRs manually back to KubeVirt just to get a feedback from the reviewers and approvers if the PRs are valid and to see if CI is working. So some are already merged, some are still open.
Okay, so you're looking for reviewers on those existing PRs.
Yes, in the first step, and the reviewers can say that this approach will not work or that it's stupid. I'm happy to hear this. And if not, I would contact people outside this meeting to help me to get this automation running. And what the community will see is that new PRs will pop up regularly.
Yeah, the Renovate bot seems like a very useful tool. So hopefully we get to move this forward.
Thank you.
Any other questions on the Renovate bot?
Not directly on the Renovate bot, but on the staging glog dependency, whatever it is. So I think it looks a bit weird, and we should investigate whether we're doing that at all. So, but yeah, I asked on the mailing list and got no answer yet.
Do you have a link to the mailing list thread?
I can add it to the meeting notes.
Yeah, please. Okay, going to move on to the open floor. Daniel Hiller, Flaky Unit Test.
Yeah, hey all. Hope you can hear me. This is just like a call for assistance from the community. this is someone else, like someone else from the community has just created an issue that he encountered with a flaky unit test. He just opened this as a tracker issue for that it just is not being lost somehow. And actually, I was wanting to discuss how are we going to handle these things in general. Like, I mean, flaky tests are not like a good first issue, at least from my point of view, if you're not an experienced developer, I think. So I would probably not attach that one, but yeah, I mean, like the range of experience is oftentimes largely varying when people come into the project and do like Google Summer of Code or stuff. So I'm a bit unsure what to do with that. So what does the community think?
Daniel, can you repeat what you are actually asking? Because I lost it.
Okay, maybe I have confused everyone with that. I'll try again. Someone opened like an issue about like a flaky unit test, which obviously like is a bad thing to have. And so he just encountered it and filed an issue on that, which is already great, so that we don't lose it. But since he has other obligations, he can't tackle that himself. So this is lying around right now. And so I am thinking like, how can we engage outside contributors with that one? So this might be, for example, like a task that might make people comfortable with the code base somehow. But this is just my opinion, and I was asking for other opinions somehow.
I get it. So I think that, like, my opinion, first of all, it needs to be assigned to a SIG. So it will have an owner, and they should somehow manage it. Like, either find contributors, volunteers to work on it, or eventually decide what to do. Like, it's like it needs to be managed. That's it.
It's already assigned to the compute, I think. So at least from what I see from the labels. So
Yeah, the question is
yeah.
it managed? Is it like, does it have any priority? Is it discussed? Is it like this part, I guess?
So okay, you're proposing that actually, like the SIG compute, for example, should take a look at this, like estimate what is to do there, and make it more clear on how the path forward would be, and then either prioritize it themselves or bring it back to the community if they deem it not that important, right?
Yeah, and from my perspective, they are the community, so they just like we triage here sometime the issues or the PRs, then they are supposed to triage whatever or each SIG, they will triage whatever they need to do, put it in some queue with a priority, and that's it. And yeah, and hope that someone will volunteer and take it. Maybe they have volunteers. Maybe they can someone can explain what is to be done, and then it can be a first issue, as you say.
So I mean, I would maybe Barak can take a look at this. I mean, I would ask Barak. So Barak was recently working on deprecating container disks, so we would be able to move to just using image volumes, and maybe we could get rid of all of this stuff altogether, and not use container disks anymore.
Okay, so you're saying that I should probably assign Barak and to see what he thinks about that?
Yeah, I mean, just first let's ask if he's able, but I think he's the right person to.
Barak will be on PTO for the upcoming 2.5 weeks.
Oh yeah, then I don't know.
we need to prioritize this.
I'm not sure who else will be available to look at this, and to both look at what Barak was doing and like the step forward with this. If somebody has time, then
Okay. So okay, I'll go back. I mean, the second meeting is right after this one, so I think it's just fair to bring it there and see what people say somehow. So we might have more like a more engaged forum of people, probably. I don't know.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. Just in the interest of time, we're going to move on. Andre, do you want to talk about Cozy Stack?
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to make short announce that our project get joined to CNCF Sandbox. We contribute to KubeVirt and REST parts like CSI, CNI driver, not CNI, CCM. Actually, platform allows you to run Kubernetes in Kubernetes and REST stuff like database as a services. And I'm happy to announce that we also get joined to CNCF. Hooray!
Can you say a few words about the project?
I can actually make short demo if you're interested too.
I'm not sure if we'll have the time for that because I think the C Compute meeting starts in
Alright.
about 8 minutes. How long would the demo be?
Just a few minutes. I will show dashboard and what actually we do.
Yeah, sure. Quick
Otherwise-
demonstration because we don't really have
Yeah,
anything else on the
sure.
agenda, so we can go for it.
Yeah. Can I share screen?
Yeah, I can stop sharing 1 second.
Thank you. So the main idea that we provide full infrastructure stack, starting from storage, networking, and operators, to just let you click and deploy some applications. The most interesting part here is Kubernetes cluster. You can click and deploy. This is like normal YAML manifest where you can specify node groups. And this will spawn a fully functional Kubernetes cluster with load balancers, with KubeVirt CSI. So you can get just, let me show another one because it will take some time. This one. So you can have access to the Kubernetes API. You can download your kubeconfig file and immediately get access to the Kubernetes itself. That's short demo, shortest possible.
Okay,
But
cool. Thanks
what
very
does
much.
the project do? You said CNI? I think you said CNI, right?
Our project is PaaS platform, which allows you to do like AWS like alternative on your on-prem infrastructure. It allows you to quickly deploy, turn your bare metal servers into system where you can order managed services like managed Kubernetes, managed Postgres, and things like so.
Right, good luck.
Okay, thank you. Just going to move on quickly to the PR section. So I see one PR here looking for attention, but I also saw that the PR is in draft. So I'm not sure, as Jed says, it's very difficult to know if a PR is ready when it's left in draft. So for the author, if whoever took this in, I would suggest moving the PR to ready for review if it's ready for review.
Okay, it's been reviewed a couple times and it's been moved into draft from the notion that maybe it was ready to go, and it wasn't. But where it's failing now is in a section of code that we haven't touched, and we're a little worried that we sort of triggered some weirdness in the converter code, the package converter code, the virt launcher converter code. And we don't really understand what is going on with that code, what it's supposed to do. And I found a couple things that I did not expect. It's dying. It's saying we don't know anything about this architecture on PPC 64LE. As well, it shouldn't be because Power Architecture has dropped support for LibVirt and will no longer be even a candidate for running a KubeVirt on as a consequence. So I think that there's an issue there, like a side issue that is worth making, like saying, let's clean up that part of the code and remove the PPCLE 64LE references and figure out why it's dying in the cluster conversion tests, or the excuse me, the Virt launcher conversion tests. So if anyone has any familiarity with that code, please volunteer and I'll put out an APB in the group. And that's basically all I have to say about it. So we can move on. And sorry,
Yeah, I was wondering, do you have an open issue for this?
I keep going to open one and then I'm like, oh yeah, but I should find out this other detail first and get lost in the sauce there. So there will be an issue soon for the PPC 64LE. But I just wanted to mention that that's what was happening. And thanks for indicating that this belongs in a different part of the meeting now that I have some idea. And what was the other exciting thing about this? Oh, sorry for the kitchen noises. Earlier, I noticed my mic was on while I was cooking and yelling into the other room and stuff. So.
Yeah.
That's it.
I also have one PR from my colleague who couldn't join, so asked me to mention. So this PR needs approval. It got an LGTM already. I pinged on chat.
Yeah, it's been going through tests and failing in weird places. So we're not sure if it's the flakiness or if it's, that Daniel referred to, or whether it's the.
Yeah, Cheryl, I was actually talking about a different PR.
Oh, I'm
here
sorry.
From Lakshmi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Vladek, you said you'd take a look at this one. I don't know if it was the last community meeting. The builder pre-build for S390X. I've CC'd on it anyway, so if you could take a look, I think it's just looking for approver.
So this is the one that ends with 993?
Yeah, 993, yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. And my note at the end here is just a small one, just to say that the beta for Case 133 KubeVirt provider is available. We have a number of SIG compute and SIG storage tests failing there. So if some people from the relevant SIGs can check out that mail, I have the relevant links in the mail thread here from the mailing list. So yeah, we see some failures in SIG compute and SIG storage. It's a beta provider, but still good to get some early feedback on those newer Kubernetes versions. So if someone could take a look, please do. And I think we're nearly at time. If anybody has anything else. No, okay. So I might see some of you over in the SIG compute meeting, but thanks very much for joining, and I hope you have a good week.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.